Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tell Me a Movie, a section of this channel here where we discuss movies that are either already out for streaming, Blu-ray, or newly released in theaters. Now, today we are going to be discussing a film that was out in theaters, but again, going to streaming, and that is going to be Gran Turismo.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
Now, this will probably be one of the easiest reviews that I've ever done during this whole program, honestly, only because of the fact that I didn't honestly see one thing wrong with this film, in my personal opinion, though you may have something different, and I encourage you to have different views. And in the meantime, go ahead and leave what you didn't like about this movie down in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on all social platforms as well. But anyways, this film is actually based on a true story, and with it being based on a true story, it also takes elements from the PlayStation exclusive video game Gran Turismo. Now, Gran Turismo is a game that came out in the early 90s and is a PlayStation exclusive at that time. I don't know exactly if it still is, unlike Forza, which I believe are released on all platforms, PlayStation and Xbox. Personally, I feel like this still may be a PlayStation exclusive, but let me know down in the comments below. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, without being totally familiar with the story, the description is honestly based on an unbelievable, inspiring true story of a team of underdogs, a struggling working class gamer, a failed former race car driver, an idealistic motorsport exec who risk it all to take the most elite sport in the world. Honestly, this movie is fun. It is engaging. It does star David Harper, Orlando Bloom, and an Archie Medekwi. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But also Digimon Hunsu. I know I'm pronouncing that name completely incorrect, but he was one of the villains in Captain Marvel. He also was in Guardians of the Galaxy in the very beginning, who didn't know who Star-Lord was. So it's that actor. He is playing the main character's father in this. Now, the one thing I will say that was very engaging for me, that I really love doing, is for some way or some shape or some form, they found an entertaining way to bring video game elements to this movie and bring it into a more realistic world. You honestly feel like you are the driver, or you are in the driver's seat nonetheless, especially in sequences where they zoom in and you can kind of see the main character's hands and steering. There are other elements from the video game brought into this movie, such as the arrows on the ground to kind of direct you, to show you the pathway. That's in this too. You kind of get a simulation feel as well, and how, of course, you can mechanically change everything in your car. And in all honesty, that is probably one of the biggest appealing things of this film is the CGI elements, because of the fact that it's so flawlessly done correctly in this movie that it just keeps you engaged throughout the whole process. Now, David Harper's character, he is a struggling racer who failed. When he does get introduced to the main character, he does, of course, kind of give him that mentor, not so much father-like, but that mentorship that the main character needs. Now, before I go any further, the main character's name is, of course, Jean. Then you have David Harper's character, Jack Salter, and then Orlando Bloom's character, Danny Moore. Essentially, Orlando Bloom's character, what he does is he sets up, honestly, a gamer's dream, and that is a competition to see who is the best racer in the world and then train them to be an actual race car driver. And it does get set up, I believe, on the not PlayStation grounds, but over in the Nissan driver motorsport area. So they create their own campus there, and they test all the drivers to see which one is actually the best. From that point, they train that driver to actually race in real life competitions. And the way that they do it, they explain, look, it's very physical. The physicality of this is very strong because you're going against a lot of G-forces. Your body has to maintain a certain number of pressure as well, and your thinking process has to be on point. So it's very crucial that the best racer in the world who is a video game individual has to go in with that mindset. Now, again, to kind of chalk it all up, this movie is fun. This movie is engaging as far as keeping your eye on it, and when the sequences are tense, they are tense, and to the point where you're just focused on the screen the whole entire time. So, like I said, this movie is fun, and I believe that anybody who watches it will enjoy it as well. I can't see them making a sequel of this. If they do, I'm kind of interested in how, just because of the fact that it opens and closes very well. It doesn't need a sequel, nonetheless. So, this is probably one of the best racing movies I've seen in a very long time. But leave your comments down below. Again, make sure that you follow us on all social platforms, hit the subscribe button, check out the merchandise link down below where, of course, all of our shirts, tumblers, stuff like that is located. It does help the channel. And we'll see you guys next time for the next review.